Quick question for millennials. Do you drive behind trucks carrying logs, planks of wood, pipes, pretty much anything projectile shaped? Or do you stay like way the fuck back? Yeah, I do too. It's this weird automatic response that I have within me because of one movie from the year 2000. I'm sure you all know what it is. Say it with me. Final Destination. Even people I know who are not horror fans have seen the scene in Final Destination with that specific kill and do the same thing. Take a second to think of the cultural permeance of that movie. It's soaked into millennial culture so deeply that if I almost get hit by a car or avoid catastrophe in some way, shape, or form, I think, I really hope that hasn't put me on someone's list, right? It's crazy to think that one movie can give an entire generation these weird, suspicious, superstitious feelings of like a really specific, uncommon event, right? I think Tarot is this generation's Final Destination, right down to the cringeworthy dialogue and absolutely stupid characters. If you think back on Final Destination, you would need to use scientific notation to illustrate how small the IQ of the characters are. Lots of them have the logical reasoning capabilities of a fucking turnip. But I love Final Destination. Like, I love them. But if you go back and watch it or any of the 4 follow-ups, there will be parts in it that make you sweat due to secondhand embarrassment because, like, it's just so cringeworthy dialogue. But we ate it up. As a generation, we ate it up. Like, we liked that stuff. It was the specific era of where all these movies sort of came out. If I was in high school, I think Tarot would do that, right? It has everything that I loved about early 2000s supernatural horror. Paper-thin plots, weird, somewhat stilted, awkward character dialogue interactions, a seemingly weird aversion to swearing, even though the characters are like drinking, smoking weed, partying, and having sex. But this movie also does stuff that Final Destination is really good at. It has these amazingly themed, really clever kills. I don't think I can name a single character from any of the Final Destinations. Like, Alec, or maybe Alexander, comes to mind. Like, that rings a bell. But that's the only one, and that's 5 movies. That's 5 whole movies. I can't think of a single character, basically. What I can tell you about those movies is I could probably list off every kill from 1, 2, and possibly 3. We watch these movies for the creative kills. Barbed wire, glass panes, tanning booths, tea towels, chair legs. They all become objects of harrowing death. And for me, part of the fun of those movies is trying to determine what in the scene is going to be the character's demise. The directors clue on this pretty well, and they started throwing you red herrings. And Tarot does all of this as well. Like, it's good. Like, I can imagine the elevator pitch for Tarot is, hey, we're going to make Final Destination crossed with 13 Ghosts. Thoughts? That had to be the pitch, because that is what this film is. Is it better than 13 Ghosts or Final Destination? No. But it's probably better than... It's probably the best Final Destination movie apart from the first one. And the character designs of the Tarot monsters, especially the Fool and the Devil, are up there for me with any of the 13 Ghosts. Like, I think it probably beats all of them. And I'm a sucker for movies that have lots of monsters with their own unique character. If I can look at a character or a monster in a movie and go, I know what your abilities are. I know how you kill people. I'm in. That's why I love Cabin in the Woods. That's why I love Supernatural, Hellboy, Scooby-Doo. Pretty much anything with like a Monster of the Week feel, I love. And Tarot has that. It's really good at that. Tarot follows a group of friends who are partying up in a mansion in the Catskills for their friend Elise's birthday. hippie, astrology, new age girly, Haley is peer pressured into doing tarot card readings for everyone, despite not wanting to because it breaks the cardinal sin of tarot card readings, and that is to never use anyone's deck. I didn't know that, but I'm telling you now. Avoid. As the group members get picked off one by creatures that look suspiciously like their tarot card characters, they race against time to try and stop the killings so that, they all don't get wiped out. Now, that is just a fantastic concept for a horror movie. Like, just a fantastic concept. No notes, 10 out of 10. And this movie does get 10 out of 10 for aesthetic style points. I just love anything spooky looking, and tarot cards are like I'm not into tarot cards, but they just look cool as hell, man. Like, tarot cards look sick. Even like tarot card tattoos are awesome. The monster design in this also 10 out of 10. And the kills are just wonderfully and artistically character themed. Like, they all have something to do with the specific tarot card. They look exactly like the hand painted tarot cards used in this. I love a theme. Guys, always be branding. I can feel success for you. Saturn's in Powerade or whatever the fucking lady says in this, right? Like, I'm not a tarot card guy. I'm not a astrology guy. But it is used really well in this, and I really liked how it was used in this. The monster designs were almost entirely practical effects, which, once again, fucking love. Apparently, they loved aliens, and they were like, we need to do it. We need to do it. And they got Trevor Henderson, who he's the guy who created like one of the most beloved internet cursed creatures, Siren Head. I'm sure you know exactly who I'm talking about when I say Siren Head. And he designed all the spookies in this, and it shows. Like, they're fucking great. They're all really, really good. This movie lives for its character design, and I just love them. I just loved them. There's a spectacular kill in this movie that involves an audience, and it is hauntingly beautiful. And a fun tidbit about that scene is that the song playing during that scene is an original created by the lipstick demon from Insidious, Joseph Bishara. So that's, and like, I love when the horror world coalesces. Unfortunately, however, creators Anna Halberg and Spenser Cohen spent all their budget on practical effects and designs, and they left no room in the budget to give any of their characters a fucking brain. Like, when I mean the characters in this film are stupid, they would sell their car for petrol money. These characters could fail a survey. I think there are more people in the friendship group in this movie than there are brain cells between them. They are that dumb, and they make decisions that are like just infuriating. Like, if I wasn't in a cinema and had been a good little cinema goer, that I am, I would actively have been yelling, kill them, kill them. Like, but when you think about it, this movie is trying to capture early 2000s supernatural slasher energy. They were all also lacking in logic. So the problem is that I can't tell if this was satire or a send-up of those movies so good that I can't tell if it was intentional or bad writing. And once again, I don't know if that means if it's good or not. I don't know if something's so close to sending something dumb up, like, is that good satire? Is it a good movie? Or is it like a bad... I don't know. That's what confused me. I had so many mixed feelings about this movie. Another thing that I disliked about this movie, like, is that while all the kills and the lead up and the characters were great, for some inexplicable reason, every monster does that thing where, and it's a common horror trope, where you get like the zoom in and then it starts screaming. And that's fine. For like one or two, I get it. Give me the jump scare. I get it. It's a cheap one, but I'll let you have it. But not for every single one. Like, it happens like 10 times in this movie. And at the end, it sort of gets stale and annoying. It's like, fucking rein it in, guys. Come on. At some point, it's diminishing returns. And that did affect it. But, like, it's effective. The kills are effective in this movie, and there were parts like I got a 74 heart rate in this. Like it doesn't fuck around, and it's a PG movie. Like they were like, oh, we want to make a PG scary horror movie, and for a PG film to get me to 74 beats per minute, that's pretty decent. But once again, you're going to have to decide whether if something sends up terribly written movies in the 2000s and then has terrible writing, is it a send up? Like, is it a well done satire, or is it a bad movie? I don't know. This could have come out in the 2000s, and I would be like, yep, love it. 13 Ghosts, Final Destination, all in, put them in. So if you like that, you're going to have to decide for yourself if this sticks up. If you like those movies, go in on this one, though. If you care little about intellectual prowess in your characters, and you like movies that focus on paper-thin plots and more on, like, less on paper-thin plots and more on, like, wonderfully creative kills and creatures, you'll probably get a kick out of this. It's hard to recommend to everyone because, like, some parts are like a 10. Character design, kills, vibe, use of cool, spooky paraphernalia. 10 out of 10 for all those. Character design, dialogue, plotting, like a 2. You know what I mean? Like it's wildly inconsistent, so it's really hard to recommend to everyone. But once again, if you like early 2000s supernatural slashers, fucking go in because I reckon you'll like it. I recommend watching this if, like I said, you like Final Destination, 13 Ghosts, even like, I know it's not supernatural, but House of Wax. Though that era, if you like that era, go in on this one. If you love creature designs, they do all the heavy lifting. All the creatures have gigantic shoulders in this movie because they do all the lifting. If you love ghost train movies with jump scares and screaming and if you watch those videos on YouTube of like pop out, where they pop out and they're exploring houses and shit, you'll probably like this. If you're looking for like a younger, like a PG-13 horror to watch with a younger family member, like there is drinking and smoking and mild swearing in this. It's surprisingly spooky given its PG-13 rating. Like they do a lot with their PG-13 rating. I was surprised. This and like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, really good character design, also PG-13, also spooky. I don't recommend watching this if you watch horror for like how good the protagonists are. Go watch Alien or You're Next or Ready or Not. Like this is not good. These are not good well thought out characters. It's just not here. If you don't like supernatural horror or jump scares, don't even go in. Not worth your time. Do not go in. If you want graphic and detailed kills, once again, PG-13 rating. They did the absolute limit they could do with PG-13. The kills are great, but there's no close-ups. There's no bone. If you're a splatterhound, probably not going to be for you. But if supernatural ghost train movies are your bag, you'll like this one. You'll probably like this one. It's an entirely good throwback to like that era of horror. If you liked this and you're looking for movies like it, check out Urban Legends, man. It's a movie from the early 2000s. It's like came out around the same time as Final Destination. It's a true classic of that genre, and it never gets enough love. It's fucking terrible, and I love it. It's a fucking terrible film. But so is Final Destination and 13. Like, the films aren't that good, but my connection to them are, and this does the same thing that they all do. If you've seen all them and you haven't seen Urban Legends, check it out. It's great. In a terrible way. If you want the best version of what this film could have been, fucking Cabin in the Woods. 100% Cabin in the Woods. If you somehow haven't seen it, it is the perfect send-up of the brainless characters in those early 2000 slashers, and it still boasts pound for pound the most creatures per minute, per movie, ever. And they're all amazing. Like, all the creature designs in Cabin in the Woods are amazing. So if you haven't seen it, it's one of my favorites of all time. It's so good. So good. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week for another review. Peace.